So what is up, guys? The time has come. Nick here, helping you to master your technology. iPhone 13 versus iPhone 13 mini versus the iPhone 13 Pro versus the iPhone 13 Pro Max battery drain test. Now I have these all lined up on the charging dock, as you can see right over here, and they're all lined up with the lightning cables, and when I press the power button they all are going to turn on at the exact same time, and then I will pull the plug once we show you the setup and how this video is going to go down. All right guys, I'm gonna go ahead and hit the button. Let's see which one turns on first. While we're at it, they're all going to power up right now, and then I'm going to share with you how this video is going to go down. It's going to be more of a stress battery drain. I'm really going to try to kill these batteries. That's the point here. Now we could talk about real world usage all day, but it's really difficult to pinpoint real world usage because, you know, everybody's real world usage is different. You know, you might be using camera all day, somebody else might be using social media all day. So my goal here is just to really drain these down and kill all of the batteries on board. All right guys, so here we are, and before we get going, do me a favor, hit that like button. These take a lot of preparation time to make. Do it for the algo, do it for the channel. Checking it out, you'll see all of them do have full brightness here. Volume is down. I don't want to disturb the neighbors around here. You can see right here, there's no SIMs in these. I'm going to be relying on the Wi-Fi home network, and right now they're still all on 100% charge. I haven't turned the button off, so they're all still charging right now. And you'll see Bluetooth, Wi-Fi. I am going to leave AirDrops contacts only on for all of these, so you'll see right there, AirDrop. So AirDrop's going to stay on for the duration of this video, and I think that's because a lot of people will forget that AirDrop is on. Now we're going to run some video, we're going to do some games in this video as well, we'll do some social media, some browsing, stuff like that, but really my whole goal is just to drain these batteries. So all on 100% battery health, all new, all iOS 15. I'm going to go ahead and hit start, and I'm going to hit this power button in 3, 2, 1. So they're now all on their official regular battery life. Let's go ahead and begin with YouTube. I'm going to run this YouTube video for 1 hour straight on all of these phones, and I will be back when they are done. All right guys, so we're closing in here on 55 minutes, or about an hour actually. So about an hour here so far, and the video is done. That was one of my longest reviews ever. It's from back in the day. But let's go ahead now and check out where we are on the battery life for each iPhone. They're all pretty much up there, it looks like right now, but I'm going to show you each one here. Now the iPhone 13 mini stands in at 88%. The brightness got a little bit lower. I think they might have lowered it due to heat, but you can see right there, 88% there for the iPhone 13 mini. Now over here for the iPhone 13, 89% right there. So only 1% difference for the iPhone 13 and the iPhone 13 mini. Now over here for the iPhone 13 Pro, 88%. That's pretty shocking. The iPhone 13 around the same as the iPhone 13 Pro, and the big boy, the iPhone 13 Pro Max at 91%. So all running that same YouTube video at 100%, same Wi-Fi network, full brightness. Let's go ahead now. Right, so I'm gonna run Antutu on each one of these phones right here, and I'll go ahead and start the test at the same time. This does drain quite a bit of battery, so I'll do this. I'll do a Geekbench, maybe a 3D Mark, and then I'll report back on the next battery update. All right guys, so it's been a little over half an hour since our last battery update. I ran Antutu, Geekbench. I did do a stress test on 3D Mark as well, and let's go ahead and check in on these phones. The iPhone 13 mini feels burning hot right now from the back glass. 72% as it stands, so it's down a good 17% or so. iPhone 13, 77% over here. And then the iPhone 13 Pro, this one sits at 77%, going neck and neck with the iPhone 13. The iPhone 13 actually has a slightly bigger battery than the iPhone 13 Pro, and I'm noticing that the display got a little dimmer. Apple does tend to dim the display if you're using a lot of power on the phone. And the iPhone 13 Pro Max, as expected with the larger cell, 81%, up 4% over the iPhone 13 and 13 Pro. All right, guys, so we're closing in on 2.5 hours. This video is just about done, so I'm going to pause it there and then go ahead and check on the battery life here now for each iPhone. So beginning again with the iPhone 13 mini, it's now sitting at 60%, and this has got to be truly one of the most impressive ones, still being, you know, a light phone, really small, giving you much better battery life than before. It's already totally noticeable. More than 60%. We're already 2 hours and 28 minutes in. The iPhone 13 sitting at a healthy 66%, so still well more than 50% over there, full brightness. And these phones have cooled down a bit because video is not quite as intensive as the benchmarking. 65% here for the iPhone 13 Pro, and then for the iPhone 13 Pro Max, we are looking at 72%. So what's really been shocking in this video is that the iPhone 13 and 13 Pro have been going head to head and staying at a similar percentage, with the 13 actually slightly above the iPhone 13 Pro right now. All right, guys, so we're sitting at 4 hours screen time already, over 4 hours, 4 hours and 3 minutes. Let's take a look at the mini. We stressed them again, 32% here. So this one is starting to get down there for the iPhone 13 mini. Let's take a look at the iPhone 13, 43%. So this one's holding on now a bit better than the iPhone 13 mini. I was wondering why the 13 mini was staying there with the 13, but it's starting to pull ahead now. You'll see 41%, so the 13 ahead of the 13 Pro by a couple percentage points at 43 versus 41. Now the iPhone 13 Pro Max still sitting at a healthy 53% at 4 hours of screen time. This is insane battery life for the iPhone 13 Pro Max, but the 13 mini still hanging on as well, which is pretty awesome considering the size. I don't know if many people are going to be spending more than 4 hours on screen time with the mini phone throughout the day, as it's more of a compact. All right, guys, and it looks like the iPhone 13 mini is gone. So I'll go ahead and showcase that to you right now. Trying to boot this up. It's telling me to go for a charge. So goodbye, iPhone 13 mini. Well over 5 hours. I'll put the exact time when it did give out right here on screen right now, and you should see it there. The iPhone 13, the regular model, is at 17%. So I would say far better than the iPhone 13 mini in battery life. You know, 17% could be the difference between like an hour or so to get the charger, depending on what you're doing. So far better than the 13 mini. And where is the iPhone 13 Pro? 16%. So it looks like the 13 and 13 Pro might give out at around the same time. They both got low battery warnings during that stress test. Right here, we have 31% here still on the iPhone 13 Pro Max. So you're talking 2.5 hours longer than something like the mini phone when it comes to battery life over there. Maybe even longer than that, depending on what you're doing. Again, we are trying to push these to the max. It looks like we have our second phone to go out, which is the iPhone 13 Pro. It's very warm because we were running 4K 60 video when this did give out. So the 13 Pro is gone, and it kind of makes sense because, again, the smaller battery than 13, smaller battery than the 13 on the 13 mini as well. So it kind of makes sense that that would be gone first. And let's just go ahead and check the iPhone 13. While we're at it here, you'll see this is only at 2%, 6 hours and 40 minutes for the 13 Pro. And then the 13 Pro Max here is sitting at 19%. So we clearly already have the winner, but again, we're still gonna try to drain them. And you can see the iPhone 13 has given out just a few minutes later after the 13 Pro at around 6 hours 45 minutes. Now, again, very impressive for this phone. Almost 7 hours stress testing the batteries here. Not even doing regular like mid brightness, you know, simple browsing, simple things. This thing was under stress and it lasted almost 7 hours for the 13. That's insane amount of screen on time. I think you're going to be very impressed with the battery life there. And it's crazy because the 13 and 13 Pro Max are the first and second place winners here in my testing. And I think those are going to be the two most popular actually. The regular sized one there and then the largest iPhone 13 Pro Max. So I'm running Geekbench. We still have a healthy amount of battery left here, 19%, but I know you're not going to be happy if I just end it here. So we're going to finish it out and I'll be back when the iPhone 13 Pro Max is done. And that is it. 8 hours and 9 minutes and the iPhone 13 Pro Max is finally done. What a beast of a performer right here. Seriously impressive, and considering all the stressing I was doing, these phones feel like they're on fire. Well, not these anymore. The 13 Pro actually lost it out to the iPhone 13, so that was a little bit shocking. I thought the 13 Pro would beat out the 13, but it didn't go ahead and do that. So first place goes to the iPhone 13 Pro Max, second place to the iPhone 13, third place iPhone 13 Pro, and last is the 13 mini. But what's important to note here is that each and every one of these phones was more impressive than each and every one of the iPhone 12s of last year. So the battery claims Apple has made are indeed correct, and if you do go ahead and not stress them like I'm doing here, you might even be able to see something like 10 hours screen time on the 13 Pro Max if you use low power mode or you lower the brightness down a bit, and depending on the apps you're using, you may even see that much screen time. Seriously impressive battery life. And the mini is also impressive because now, you know, almost 6 hours or so of screen time, you know, this thing can finally make it through a day and fit in the palm of your hand. And these, we wanted to see upgrades and we see them there. So let me know your thoughts on this down below. Which one are you going to go with? The 13 mini, the 13 Pro, or the 13 Pro Max? Are you skipping them out? Let me know your battery experience if you have one. Thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Nick here helping you to master your technology. Be sure to be well, and peace.